Well. Guten. Was I going Guten Tag there? Oh my goodness. Good sudden morning, everyone. How are we all feeling? Feeling chipper? Feeling spry? Feeling ready to chat and scry the future of what we're doing? Guten morning. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen, das Kinder. Guten Morgen, das Kinder. You join me. With sudden free time, as I posted in the Discord just a half a second ago. Yes, well, I was going to have work this Saturday, you see. And then the weather really was not allowing that to happen, so as the sign says across my bow tie, what a shame. And they weren't able, I did find out I was keeping an eye on the, sort of the online stuff, and then I saw the message, oh, notice, it's been postponed till tomorrow, and I said, oh, well, I've suddenly got this morning free, but I haven't got anything prepared for it. I probably should have prepared. I knew it was going to be cancelled, because I knew the weather was going to be bad, but, you know, I've never been much for, I've always been a hopeful person, you see. I like to think what is the word for it? That what's the phrase? That I see the best in the future. I'm fairly optimistic. Yeah, totally. That's why I didn't get prepared for today, even though I knew it was going to be raining down a downpour, and we'd have to cancel the outside activity we were planning to do. Totally. It was because I was such an optimist, I'd hoped my sunny disposition would change the weather to be the same. You know? That whole phrase, what you put out to the world is what you get back, and I was, you know, joyful and sunny and cheery and like a ray of sunshine, like a bright yellow ball of burning gas in the middle of the vacuum of space. And it's a shame because, I wasn't able to manifest a bright burning ball of gas in the vacuum of space here for us, so we wouldn't have to have the rain. What a shame. But here I am. The problem is, because I wasn't prepared, I haven't even got, the Oblivion remastered downloaded, so we can't really do that today. Well, we could, but, I don't want to. Could have done it tonight. That would have been smart. Actually, no, I couldn't have that meeting tonight. Never mind. You hope for most of your plans. What happens in his plans while making your plans? Damn. He does work in mysterious ways. The funny thing is, I don't think most of the people... Speaking of plans being unmade, I saw the announcement on the site of the school I work at, but I don't think that the school knows that I know. I should have called them. I didn't. But I was like, oh, it's cancelled, and then just didn't turn. I hope they're not waiting for me to tell me to go home, because they weren't able to get into contact with me. I really should have given them who knows? They haven't called me, so... I assume they would have just assumed I knew, and made the assumption. I assume they thought, well, he's got grey hair, and has probably lived on this earth. He probably can figure out that it's not happening today. And they'd be right. Today's drink, yes, by the way. Today's drink is kind black tea, probably gentle black tea. Because it's called Yasashi Kocha. Yasashi Kocha. It is sort of the basic tea bags that I use. They were cheap. You can get 50 or 100 in a packet. And I just use it when I need to make a quick cup of black tea. What if it's happening as we speak? I don't know, mate. If it's happening as we speak, well, I guess I'm just not going to be there and I'll have to apologize next week. But yes, this is Yasashi black tea. Yasashi Kocha. It's the sort of, black... It's the black tea bags. I usually keep a box of them around so I can just quickly make it if I'm out of time, or I'm lazy at the start of work, or don't really feel like making nice tea in the morning when I'm feeling miserable. And instead like making my nice tea in the middle of the day when I'm, more awake. But yes, it says something like shinsen na hari to akaraka na koku o ryoshi shitaストレートティーでもミルクティーでも美味しく蒸し上がれるブレンドティーです。Oh my goodness. My plans are all about being celebrated too tonight, but those plans are unfolded by the unfolding of all plans. Oh no! I would feel bad, but I don't know. I sort of feel like I've done something good by stopping you from playing Sonic. Point is, all that Japanese I just said essentially means it's a fresh, bright tea. You know, fresh, plentiful tea, got a lot of flavour. It can be done as a straight tea. It can be good as a milk tea. It can be good as any tea. That's what kind of blend this is. It's a literally straight tea, milk tea, oishiku naragerareru blend tea. So it's like a straight milk, a delicious tea. I don't know, it's a funny way they put the Japanese thing. I would feel bad, but the game is bad. That's what I was saying. I feel like I was doing something good. Essentially, it's funny how sometimes the Japanese say that. Like, it makes a noun phrase, as if we would say, like a beneficial tea. They're like, a straight and milk tea delicious tea. Sometimes the Japanese is fun. Point is, that's why it's in a thermos, by the way. Because I made this tea as I was about to go to my car. You know, because I hadn't seen the announcement that whatever was happening today was cancelled. So I got up, I got my tea ready, I ate my breakfast, and I was about to walk out, open the thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I should have probably expected it is raining down a hill. So that's why it's in a thermos, because it was supposed to be my tea for the day that I would take to school and pour out into my mug. It's not bad tea. It's just a pretty basic black tea. It tastes like English breakfast, to be honest. Tastes like English breakfast. Another annoying thing, when I suddenly decided to do this stream, sorry, this was me ranting, is that my goddamn wireless keyboard ran out of batteries, and I thought I had more AAA batteries. Actually, I thought it ran on AA's for first. I thought it was a AA battery laptop. AA battery laptop, damn, that would be amazing. Your power efficiency. A AA sort of battery for the keyboard, but it was not. It was two AAA batteries. And I thought I had some, and I spent 30 minutes before the stream looking for it, and I couldn't. So, luckily, the cord for my old wired keyboard does just reach the computer, so thank God for that. Bit of a morning this morning, but how is everyone else doing? Sorry, shouldn't be complaining. While you're doing that, yes. It's been good. It's been a good week. Actually, that's a lie. It's been a terrible week. I don't know why I lied to you just then. That was mean of me. I shouldn't have lied. It's been one of those weeks. Not bad for work, not bad for play, just bad because, you know, I'm in one of those poor moods. And we're going through a depressive episode, I think. Granted, that depressive episode is caused by money. It's always money for me. No matter all I get, it's always about money. Money, 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 money. It just tires me out, you know. But that's been my week. Sort of concerned about money. Some relatives are not doing so well, and I don't know if I'll be able to get over it. No, it's fine. I'll probably be able to afford it. It's all good. It's all okay. It's all okay. But yes. Other than that, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. The week was going to be good. Hopefully tomorrow won't be nearly as rainy and I'll be able to do what the delayed thing that was supposed to happen today we'll be able to do tomorrow. But I don't hold out hope. Money. Never too much and never enough. I'm always glad, in a strange way, I'm always glad I never had much money. Like, I've never been one of those overly rich people, because I don't think I've ever really known how good it is to have enough money just not to think about it. Well, I always have enough not to think about it day to day. But, you know, I've had plenty of times, even now, where I go, and I think about money. But it's funny, I feel like that's been my whole life, no matter how old I get. It's always been that sort of, it's never been a concern, but it's been in my thoughts, you know? It's the same now, it's more of a concern, it's never been a concern, it's just in my thoughts. That's put me down for a bit. And I find that, I'm glad that I've never really been that rich, because I feel like I'd be having a much harder time if I was previously quite well off, you know? A lot of the young fellas that are in this job that I'm doing, which is a very low-level job in Japan, there's a lot of young fellas who do this as like a year, gap year sort of thing. But you meet a lot of them who don't even realize they're rich. It's a really fascinating little thing. It was the first time I ever had this truly shocking experience. Like, I've met rich people before, but ironically, a lot of the rich people I've met have understood that they're fairly well off. I've met a few out-of-touch people that are well off, and they know they're well off, but they still can't sort of understand what it's like for a person with less money. Like, I've met some real colourful characters who are well off. That's what happens when you work in various circles. Sometimes you brush up against the shoulders of those the poor should have never met. But, ironically, in this job, I found I meet a lot of them recently. A lot of young people, especially, who don't even know that they're rich yet. They haven't even reached that point of realization where they believe they're well off. Like, the older people that I knew always knew they were well off, or knew they were lucky, or knew they were hard-working enough to get where they got, or at least pretended to believe that. But this time, it's so fascinating seeing the sort of mental manipulation, the subtle manipulation of being rich as a kid. Because these kids don't even realize what they've got. It's amazing. I was chatting to one of them. Times were different, people were too, I suppose. And there was also more way of telling it, you know. You had the classic, if you worked for certain car companies, you'd get certain level cars as part of your paycheck. You'd be given a car. My parents were given a vehicle, actually, when I was a kid. You know, it was part of, like, you know, the benefits of working for the company. And that was a big thing, especially car companies like Ford. You had a lot of family members of mine who worked in Ford and Holden, when they still actually existed in Australia as a company. But yeah, you had these sort of managers and the whole badge number system, the badge system of the cars and all that sort of thing. You know? You know, things were class symbols, so they were like sort of status symbols, so people showed them off more, I feel, and, you know, wanted to be well off, you know? They always had to outdo each other. But these days, God, I feel like it's changed. People don't flaunt their wealth as much, or don't even realize they have it. Like, I'm not telling it. So let me tell you a color. So there was a kid. Can't remember how old he was. Early 20s. So I'm part of like a sort of group chat online, which is what a lot of people use in Japan. I don't know if they use Line. I don't know what countries Line is used in, but we use Line in Japan a lot, pretty much always. And there's a big group chat of all the people in this company, or fair few of the people at this level of this company that I work for. Well, and we're all, you know, English teachers and various teachers of various sorts. And this fellow one day, it was like last year sometime, don't know if he's still in Japan, but last year sometime, he, you know, put out a call, oh, I'm going to this place, anyone want to come meet up with me, have a chat? And I was like, you know what, they're a new kid, I'll, you know, go meet them up with them and have a good chat. And, you know, I'm a bit older than them, so I invited another one of my colleagues over who was a bit younger than I am, so, you know, it wasn't just an old dude turning up, which would be a bit awkward for this young guy. But another fellow and me turned up, we kind of just had a nice walk, nice chat. I asked them why they were here. So we're going through all these conversations. And they asked me why I was here. You know, it was all this good thing. Point is, it seemed very normal. We're having a great time. Beautiful day. We got to see some beautiful stuff. It was in a nice park. We were hanging out. We went to different sorts of things. It was very interesting. And then I asked, you know what inspired you to come to Japan? He's like, well, I've always liked the nature and the culture, but I didn't really want to live in Japan until I went on a holidays in Japan the last year. And I was like, oh, really? Last year? That's a pretty fast turnaround. You know, he wanted to go to Japan, then he got to Japan within a year. That's pretty cool. I was like, what was it? What did you do last year? How did you travel around? He's like, well, I did a 3-month motorbike tour. And I was like, what? A 3-month motorbike? He said a 3-month holiday. And I was like, what kind of holiday? He's like, well, we kind of like didn't do anything fancy. We didn't go to any of the fancy places. We went on our motorbikes around Japan. I was like, did you hire motorbikes and drive around? He's like, no. Me and my brother, we imported our motorbikes to Japan. I was like, one, very cool. Like, I'm jealous. But it stunned me. That's such a wild thing to say. And I was like, oh, how? I was like, did you work while I was like, because I was thinking back to, trips I've done, trips my family members done, trips my father used to do. And when they do those sort of long trips, especially my generation, often you would be working. It was like a working holiday. You would travel to Europe and you'd work on the, vineyards for a while, or you'd work on a oil rig for 3 months to earn some money to travel for another 3 months. That sort of thing. Working holidays, times were different back then. It was much easier just to walk onto a farm or walk into a local area and go, anyone need someone for a job for a day? Cash in hand that day, and you just walked out of town. And with the oil rigs, oh, it's great stuff. But it was stunning. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. What did you do? And I just asked him about it. I just thought it was pretty cool. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. What did you do, man? And he chatted, and he just kind of said, essentially, he was like, imported his own motorbike, 2 of them, and his brothers just drove around on motorbikes. They never really booked anything in advance. They sort of took them where the wind willed, sort of thing, as the wind blowed, sort of thing, and they traveled a heap for 3 months around Japan. And I hadn't asked in this conversation, how did he afford it? And that's the real thing, because I heard that. And then we were just chatting, and I was like, oh, I'm jealous of you. When I was a kid, we never had any money. Even when I was a kid, I was still poor, even though everyone was rich when I was a kid. I was like, you may think back to, people in the era of the older eras being sort of like, oh, much well off, and cost of living was better. And that's true, it was. We didn't have a bad life for being such a low-income family. But, I never had the money to travel. Barely could travel the country of Australia, let alone internationally. Even with the induction of cheap fares, like plane flights and the like. It was never going to happen. I was like, I was always jealous. I had to wait until I was well and truly making my own money and being an adult to be able to travel. And he's like, oh, it's nothing much. It's nothing much. We're pretty we're a middle-class family. And me and the mate I'd brought along, the other colleague of mine, looked at each other. This person who'd been on a 3-month motorcycle trip around Japan on their own bike, I knew. They had imported a bike. I don't even want to know how much that cost. I know bikes are cheap to import, probably, but like getting the sort of permissions to do that must have been insane. The fact he didn't even talk about that makes me think they didn't do it. It sounds like maybe somebody else in the family may have done the calls to make sure they could actually legally drive those bikes on the road. And it was a whole thing. And even if they had hired bikes, that's an absurd amount of money to spend. And this fellow was calling himself middle class. Middle class. Poor kid didn't even know what he had. Middle class, my ass. Middle class is having a holiday every 2 or 3 years. Middle class is working every day. And coming home at a reasonable time every night to spend time with your kids. Middle class is going for a weekend trip to a family member's house. that happens to be in a sort of nice location, but isn't the nicest location. Middle class is not a 3-month motorcycle tour of Japan, not booking anything advanced, because I could not imagine if they may be outside in the countryside. Hotels would be cheap, but hotels in cities, not booked ahead? That would be absurd. Middle class. It made me realise that some of these kids just don't realise it. They truly, honestly believe it. Probably because their parents tell them that's the case. Parents probably tell them that they're middle class. Because, you know, maybe the parents believe it. Or maybe they think they don't want the kids to be arrogant or something like that. But ironically, the kid is arrogant. So I was just like, mate, I'm sorry, but that's not middle class. I don't think I've known a single middle class family that could afford a 3-month holiday. Unless this is like the one holiday. Your whole family got together to give you and your brother a 3-month holiday. But for some reason in this day and age, I doubt that's the case. Especially in this day and age, with the cost of things. Absurd. I feel sad for the poor kid. I didn't mean to be so mean to him, because me and my other colleague, who was also he was definitely middle class. The way he described his life very much grew up to a factory worker father sort of thing. Working class, perhaps, is a better way of putting him. And we just laughed. We couldn't believe the audacity of this kid. I feel bad, though. I feel bad. That was a weird rant. That was a rather strange rant. Point is, that was what I sort of was stunned. And it's not the first time I've seen it, but that was the most obvious time I've seen these kids not know what they have. A lot of them just have this sort of reckless abandon about money that makes you realize that they clearly never needed to think about money when they were in, wherever they were. But, no, it stunned me, gave me a real shock. Middle class, he said. Middle class, my goddamn ass. Poor kid. He's gonna have a hard life. And an easy life. Emotionally, he's gonna have a hard life. He's gonna have a hard life connecting with anyone or talking like that. I do feel bad that I may have just, like, I just completely gave him shit for it, and I was like, mate, you are gotta be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me, man. Middle class. 3-month holiday don't exist in the same sentence. Unless you were working. And I know you weren't. So did I ask, did you work when you were driving? No. I'm like, maybe if they had gotten, like, works on strawberry farms or rice fields or something. And I don't even think they do that in Japan. But maybe if they had done that, I'd believe him. But my God, middle class. Fascinating stuff. It is a surprise how many rich people don't know they're rich. It is a surprise. I feel like I'd know. Point is, that's all to say, in a way, I'm sort of glad I didn't have much money when I was a kid. It stopped me from getting too arrogant or being weird like that. Thinking I'm middle class. I don't think I've ever been lower middle, maybe. Anyway. So yes, on to the main topic, really. Today, I was planning on doing some sort of planning. I was planning on planning, wow. Look at me go. Look at me go. I was planning on planning. You know, to do a, well, I've got a lot of this sort of idea sort of formulated in my head of what I want to do with this Oblivion run. But let's talk about that. Open a Google Doc, shall we? Google Doc opened. Yeah. Alright. Let's see if we can't have some time to... Why is still have a window? Alright. There you go. Here's my Google Doc. Nothing written on it, but you get the point. Let's see if we can't write some stuff down. Point is, wow, I really should make this darker. Can I make this darker? Oh well. But there's a dark mode for Google Docs. But I was thinking of doing something. I was thinking of maybe. So yes, let us see. Shivering Isles only. Oblivion remaster. Let's see how bad I'm good at writing. I was thinking a lot of things. So what I was thinking of doing was maybe... Well, first, I feel like if we're going to do a Madness themed run, I feel like there needs to be some randomness. So I was definitely thinking, we just don't choose our stats in the beginning. It's going to be random. Whatever we get, we get. It's going to be a random set of stats, you know, majors and minors. Random, major, and minor skills. I think even a random star sign, or whatever the hell they're called. Random. What do they call them? Star signs? Random. What is it? Oblivion. Star signs? Are they called star signs? Birth signs. That's it. Birth sign. Or a madness themed one. Or a madness. I can't remember the star signs. Now that's simple. We could just do that and then just go level 1 or run immediately straight to the Oblivion Gate to the Shivering Isles and just do that as our run. That's possible, certainly. But, you know, I feel like there just needs to be more. I feel like we could do more with this. It's just really simple. Maybe a higher difficulty? God damn. Eric, you're really showing how terrible of an English teacher you are. No, we are, Balloon. Haven't played it at all. Yeah, but that's true. But what do you can still sort of assume what would be good. We don't want to be too difficult of a challenge run, but I do like to think we would try a bit of a challenge, you know. I was thinking it could be a lot of roulette stuff. But that wouldn't be very madness themed. Because I was thinking, in the Shivering Isles DLC, you have 2 halves of the map, and 2 halves of New Sheogorath, the main city of the DLC. One is called Mania, one is called Dementia. Mania is all about happiness, this happiness side of madness sort of thing. The maniacs, as you could probably assume, it's called Mania. That makes sense, doesn't it? And that's like, you know, they're on drugs all the time, and they're having hallucinogenics, and they're really happy and silly and kind of crazy and mad and kind of fun, kind of madness. And then you've got Dementia, which is like the murder hobos as a D&D player. They're paranoid, they're terrified, they're sort of always afraid and weird and dangerous and sort of the more angry and bitter and depressed side of madness. They're like, yeah, just depressed and sad and paranoid and schizophrenic. So I was thinking, when we choose a side of... When you choose a side of new sheogorath... I can't remember what it's called. New sheogorath? What's it called again? New sheogorath. So when we choose a part of new sheogorath, you know, a half of new sheogorath, I was thinking, and it's also our whole region. Mania is half as, maybe a half of new sheogorath. Maybe if we choose the side of the Shivering Isles. Are you gonna play with madness? I'm trying to create a run that'll make us act mad, you know? That's like certain things we have to do, you know? So let's get a description of each of these areas. So, brightly colored plants. So, Mania is like fun and silly. When we choose a side of the Shivering Isles, we have to act in accordance with that side. Because I believe even at the very start, you have two gates to choose. And that gate sort of determines some things. Weird. The rain's getting really heavy. So I was thinking, we have to act in accordance to the two sides. Mania and dementia. So, the sort of general thing would be, in Mania, you know, we take the nice option, take the overly friendly option. A sort of random, manic. If there are any drugs, we find some drugs. We must take them. We're gonna have any drugs, we have to take them. What other things do Mania? Let's go look at the Duke of Mania. Duke of Mania. Because the idea is we have to choose we must follow do all of the quests on that side. Do all the Mania quests. So, now, we will do all the Mania quests, become the Duke of Mania. So we have to kill the Mania Duke, which I believe we'll do through overdoses. All the Mania side quests, become the Duke of Mania. What else could be good for that? What else does Mania do? Let's look at the Duke of Mania. Mania. Oblivion, Duke of Mania. So, and also we have to side with the Golden Saints, of course. Side with the Golden Saints. That's pretty easy, though. Side with the Golden Saints. I think his name is Lord Thaden. Yeah, Lord Thaden. Weird guy. Master of Merriment, fond of overindulgence. Yep, so we have to do that. Point is, yes, I'll play in Madness style, but I have to be kind of weird and crazy, and I think I have to use the items that I get from the quests, I think. So I think it would be best if I sort of use the items from the quest I get. You know, I have to sort of be in line with the sort of things, but I'll have random abilities. So we'll have to see what kind of build I can make from it. But that's the idea. I think generally we have to follow these lines. We have to be overly friendly options in conversations. We're random, manic. We use poisons and drink drugs and that sort of thing, and drink alcohol all the time. You must take them and imbibe them. Do all the mania quests. Become the Duke Mania. That's what I'm thinking. I know this is not exactly entertaining for some of you, but you know, if you've got any ideas, suggestions, throw them out. Because I'm gonna play with as much madness as I can. I want to play completely weird and random, silly. That'll be Mania. So we'll do the Mania. That'll be the Mania option. Dementia, however, will be much more like a normal Skyrim player, I think. Let's be frank. Paranoid and overly violent seems very much the side of very much the side of very much the side of a normal character, a normal player of these games. I assume as the wow, she has a rare. That's a cool looking weapon. So the idea is we need to follow what? So the Thaden and sort of seen as a much more. Let's go to the official Elder Scrolls wiki. So initiative Duchess. So she's she's paranoid, she's worried, she's prisoner, and a delightful conversationalist. And Ugh. So the idea is she's sort of crazy. She sort of represents the side of dementia, sort of darker, tangled roots, thorns and poisons and murders, and cheerfully insane, residents of mania, kept as like dark seducers, functions as a guard. So the idea is with them, this will be classic. Take all angry, suspicious, or violent choices in conversation. If there is an option to kill, murder option, there is an option to kill, they start fight, kill option, we must take it. Use everything at us, be very like sneaky. I suppose this one we could also say always try and take always take the friendly way out. Thing you can. And the other would be start a fight. We must take the option of fight. We must fight everyone. We must beat them all to death. Use all that you can. Use all you can. Poisons. Spells. Scrolls. Sneaking. That sort of thing. We want to be sneaky and, angry and suspicious and violent, And with them, take all weapons we can find. All adventure, main and side quests. Come. Duchess of Dementia. Side with the Dark Seducers. And, yeah, that'll be that. I think that's pretty much the biggest difference in the two. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So that's the main sort of idea of the run, was we would go with one of the two sides of madness, and we'd sort of try and play as that. Go silly, go wild, go taking all the drugs. I think that would be the funner of the two, to be honest. Mania seems like the funner of the two options. Even though funner is not a word, it is more fun. Seems to be the more fun of the two options. Yes. So that will be that. And of course we'll have completely random stats, so it could be really easy to beat dementia and get through the game. Especially if we're playing on a higher difficulty. Or it could be super hard because we just have none of those right skills. Or we have too much of the right skill and we end up over-leveling and getting stuck in a place where we have a lot of really powerful skills but not really good at anything. Now, Random burst sign or emergency one. Yes. So that's that. I'm actually kind of curious. Let's Oblivion. Oblivion. Remaster. Madness mod. You know what? I'm just gonna go madness mod. But yes, so we'll have to see that. I think also, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Not too sure, but we'll have to figure out what we'll do with it. Now, that can't be the only thing to do. We need some sort of punishment for death. Death penalty. Now, what should our death penalty be? There's got to be some sort of death penalty. We can't just keep dying. Unless it does get really hard, then maybe we might have to drop the death penalty. But, what would we do? Death penalty. Hmm. We could always make a roulette, I suppose. Add some things. Put things like no fast travel, no this, no spells for the next 15 minutes, that sort of thing. We could always do that. Make it a roulette. But I don't know what I'd do. You'd have to make up some stuff. I know there isn't like an overly large amount to do in the Shivering Isles DLC, but it might be quite tough. There's always a choice. Maybe picking a random item. Random equipped item. Equipped item and dropping it. Or scrapping it. That's always a possibility. I know, for every day I take a nail of one of your hands. Jesus Christ. We're not torturing someone in Guantanamo Bay, J Hank, sorry. My God. We're not trying to get information out of me. Jesus. Next, you're gonna tell me for every death I have to put another bamboo shoot beneath my legs and wait them, let them slowly grow through my thighs. The old Chinese death by bamboo torture method. There's always the classic, taking a drink. Drink every death. Or a random amount of drink. I don't feel any madness theme though. Like a roulette would be the best thing, like a penalty roulette. I know I spelled penalty wrong and roulette wrong, really. Nope, I got roulette right. Penalty roulette would probably be the best, but it just doesn't seem right. Yes, it's how to say. Hard to say. I can't really decide what I'm. Kind of hard. kind of hard. That would be. I wish I had more skills, you know? If I was one of those cool mod screamers, I could probably figure out something like, you know, every time I die, a random effect occurs. Like, maybe I'm, like, hallucinating for the next 30 minutes, you know? Or I'm unable to use any other items for the next 30 minutes. Oh, I guess I could pretend. At the 10th death, you have to tell him Mr. Ortega's secret hideout. I'll never tell you. Because I think the mania and dementia thing is cool. There's always maybe that every time I die, I'm supposed to swap from mania to dementia, or from dementia to mania. Um, I feel like doing something for times would be good. I just wish I had mod skills, you know, because if I had mod skills, I could totally make this a very good run. But I'm too lazy. But I feel like doing random conversations would be good. Maybe sort of acting out. That could be a good one. With every death now and every conversation I add, like maybe I should like start adding debuffs. I should be able to tell us what game he has. Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Um. Hmm. 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 I think maybe penalty roulette. On the penalty roulette, what would we put on it? Using only a certain item for a time. Only using a certain spell class for a certain time. Is there a random? Uh-huh. Hmm. At the 100th karaoke. I must sing everything. Sing everything I say for a time. That could always be good. That could be good. How many deaths before you release where I can't go, you can join me? Well, I'd actually need to make a produced version of the song, and I'd need to drag in my producer relatives to do that. Sing everything I say for a certain time. Do the next fight Streaker, maybe? Fight completely unarmored. Equip. PX or equipmentless, yeah. Equipmentless. For me, drink. Beverage. Gotta be more we can do. This is a thing. This is a nice thing. I like thinking about it. Let me see. Okay. I think that's a good one, actually. I think somebody was talking about, like, cursed equipment. It was a mod that used to exist. But cursed equipment, that sounds like a good one. Sort of like the idea that items you pick up could have a chance to be cursed, so to speak. Like rolling a dice or something, and if it's cursed, you have to use it or something like that. That could be good. Any item you pick up, either there's a chance you have to use it. But maybe not any item, maybe any equipment. Because any item could be anything, and that seems like a lot of energy. Even any equipment. You know what? We'll put it on the list. Or maybe we'll put it as something that from here, make one of your items cursed, and from now on you can't actually unequip that item, maybe. That could be a good one. Like a death penalty. Like a permanent curse. Cursed equipment. Permanently equipment. That could be a good one. I like that as a good. That's a good one where you're like sort of stuck with whatever you've got. And if it's good, it's good. But if it isn't, it isn't. Unequip. God, why does this thing keep double typing? This is why I didn't like this dumb thing. But yeah, no, sorry, I'm really. Why do you keep saying I'm not using a... YouTube keeps saying my bitrate's too low. Is my bitrate too low? Was it sounding good on your end, everyone? But yeah, so that's a lot of rules. I feel like we're doing pretty well, but I don't know if there are any useful rules. You know? Like I need to get more penalties. Drink all. Oh, yeah. Just consume all consumables. All consume all consumables. Inventory. Yeah, sounds good on my end. Nice. That seems like a good one. I feel like this is better. Scrapping. Random equipment. Except if it's cursed. It is cursed. There you go. So if a piece of equipment is permanently cursed, like I can't unequip it, then it can't be scrapped. So that's what we'll go with that. And this one, cursed equipment stays. You know what? Actually, this one cursed, including cursed. Because it's only one fight. Maybe more that actually affect me. Is there any more that you want to affect me? Do you think anyone? Do you think of anything that would affect me as a player rather than the character in the game? Any sort of penalties that might be fun for me? You know, sing for a certain amount of time, drink. Why does it keep saying this lower than the recommended bitrate? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, YouTube? Yes. Proceeds to cause emotional damage. I don't even know how I cause myself emotional damage. Watch a TikTok cringe compilation. There you go. Watch a TikTok cringe compilation. Complication. Watch TikTok. No, don't even get the cringe code. Just watch TikTok. Watch a TikTok. That'll turn my old bones into dust. There you go. The ultimate challenge, everyone. Watch one TikTok. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I think that's the worst one. It's supposed to be a punishment for you rather than... No, you're in this with me. You're like the madness. You're like the idiots in my head. That's a good one. For a time, a chosen audience member that is active gets to choose everything. Well, no, not just to choose. Gets that is active. For a time, choose a member that is active. Their word is law. Okay, nice. There you go. I think that's a good one. Who's an actor? It's going to end up being you, J. Hank. For a time. For a time, yeah. Time. Choose an audience member that is active. Their word is law. There you go. That's a good one. If I say you show up to the game and play a PS2, I will do it. Well, I will. Currently, this controller is still broken, so I'll have to use the emulator, but certainly I can, for that period of time, emulate something. You know, whip out the old, in a smaller, tinier screen, whip out, like, start a second playthrough of Fatal Frame. The controller's still broken on the actual PS2 though, so we'll have to. I still haven't gotten that around. So maybe. But I can, yes, I will do so, yes. If you say drop the game and play PS2, but only for the time, and the game will still be sitting in the background. It'll just be like a little tiny screen with the PS2 game on it. Is that good with you? Yes. Yes, you can do that, yes. Granted, mostly I'd hope you'd be keeping it within the boundaries of Oblivion, but I can understand. Of course, I will maintain sort of the ability to veto such a thing, but yes. I don't promise anything. Piece of equipment. Hey, this is getting pretty good, actually. Watch a TikTok. What else? What else could we do? I can't do anything with money because this stream doesn't involve money, so I can't do anything like that. You know, this is all stuff that I have to just do because there's not actually any mods. Because I don't have any mods and I'm not one of those cool people who can make a mod that does this. Like, I've seen a lot of challenge runners who just make mods that do this sort of thing. But, yeah, you know, can't always be cool modders. Can't always be cool modders or people with enough money to pay modders. I'm gonna test this. I'm gonna get a roulette wheel out. Random here. And sort of put all these on. It still feels like we could get more. And we should choose what the time is. I feel like using only a certain item for 30 minutes, maybe. Using a spell class for 30 minutes. Seeing everything I say for probably only 15. 15 is a long time, though. Consume all the consumables area, scrap a random equipment, except if it's cursed. Watch TikTok for a time. I feel like there's something more. Let's do more of those watch things. Can we make ourselves watch something? Change how they're controlling the game. That could be good. What if I have any other controllers I could mess? Only I could like control connect the Nintendo Switch controller to the computer. Then I would like change. You start using a Nintendo Switch controller. It's got to be something more. Something funny. Need some more funny ones. Silly ones. The mad ones. Ooh, there's a pretty scary one you could do. That's a good one. That's a good one. Actually. A bit more like game themed, but if Mania is chosen, then you are in withdrawal and must find a drug to take, drug or alcohol to imbibe in 5 minutes? What do you think, 5 minutes? Or die again. How about that? That's a good one. In withdrawal, then you must find a drug or alcohol to imbibe within 5 minutes. I feel like it should be shorter. We'll change it later. And if dementia is chosen, then someone is plotting your device. Plotting to kill you. You must find them and kill them in 2 minutes. Or die again. Die from all. Die from paranoid forced heart attack. Nice. I just realized, does this game still have so the idea is if we don't complete these quest objectives that appear, then we might have to roll it again. Yeah? I think that's fair. What about fast travel? What do we think about fast travel, everyone? Should we do no fast travel? No fast travel? I think no fast travel is pretty good. And I think that's a fairly nice amount of, and we could add more. I think that's a pretty good amount for now. We'll leave it there for now. I think it's a fairly good amount for now. Maybe have a timer that every certain amount of time, or a random amount of time. I'm sure we could set up a random timer that just does random countdowns. And in that, something happens. It's currently it's starting to feel like I'm creating myself like a theater sports game, to be honest. I feel like I'm creating myself a theater sports game to play when I play this game. It's the unexpected. Shot by an arrow. Well, that's the thing. Possible. It is possible. Like, I got a few ideas off the internet that I don't know fit exactly. And there's also the certain time we have to choose for certain things. I really wish we could find some way to source like hallucinations. Damn, there's one for Skyrim. There's a hallucination mod for Skyrim. I think no fast travel is a good one. Quiz game out of nowhere. So the main here is the overly friendly options, a random manic, but I also think overall we should also have like a general random conversation option taking, you know, random conversation option taking on theme or not. I don't know. Maybe that'll be thing. Sort of random observation. No, no chatting streams. Maybe. Quiz game emoting will just suddenly become a just chatting stream. But it'll just be a picture of sheogorath and me doing a terrible Wes Johnson accent. This is like within the conversation when we're talking NPC conversation. Yeah. I think this is a pretty good one. NPC convo, yes. Though, you know, honestly, that could be, if I was one who likes the idea of using AI, I'd probably go, oh, one of the penalties could be I have to ask AI for a conversation topic or something like that, and then talk with my whole heart about that topic, and see what that is. I have to, like, for the next 30 minutes, keep bringing the conversation back to the topic that was given to me by, like, a randomizer. That could be good. Very strange, bizarre, like, off the rails, but yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, source a as a react, but as a sideshow. A random topic of conversation and attempt to talk about it and keep relating everything back to it. Of course, we'll keep it from being a weird conversation, we'll keep it out of the political sphere and that sort of thing. Something like fish or something like that. I just want a single word random thing. Like, give me a single word. Fish. No, and I'd have to relate everything back to fish. I am just making myself a theatre sports game. This is just a really convoluted theatre sports game, I'm starting to realise. This is going to be so much on-the-fly acting for me. I'm really stepping it up with this stream. I don't know why this is why I shouldn't do anything too much. I end up going way too overboard. I didn't need to do all of this. I didn't need to. Because I don't have access to any mods, I'm gonna have to do this. This is on me. I'm gonna have to be weed, friendly, and manic. I might turn my voice up. I wonder if I can find, like, if I choose mania, I should sort of, like, make my voice really annoying. Like, hey, talk like this for the whole stream, yeah. Just gotta get down on diaries, mate. Yeah. Oh, just get a couple of diaries, mate. Yeah. Somehow make my character face look really stupid. I don't know how to do that. Maybe there's some sort of source manipulation I can do in OBS. Yes. Yeah, so that's Seems to be the way. Yeah. That seems pretty good. I think we've got a pretty good one. I'm willing to wet my mod power of you getting over 100 deaths. Well, especially if we do higher difficulty. Now, I said higher difficulty, not the highest difficulty. But I have heard there's some issues with the scaling of the higher difficulties. I may have to bring in a mod for that. If it is too nasty. I'll try and do the difficulty levels as they are naturally within the game, of course. I'll try. However, that may not always be possible. So, we'll have to see. What mods they have on the Nexus about the mods. So there's literally one that's a difficulty slider fix. This mod fixes the huge jumps in damage multipliers from the difficulty settings that allow for more granular configuration. Alright, I'm not able to change the difficulty multipliers to something like 2-2 or 1-2 or anything really specific. Okay. So, vanilla is novice. Yeah, okay. So vanilla, normal, adept is 1 and 1. Okay. Expert is 3.5 and 0.2. What? What do you mean? Let me show you this mod. This person is telling you this is the vanilla scaling. That's... Look at the jump from 1 to 1 to 3 times the damage 3.5 times the damage taken to like a fifth of the damage dealt. Why? Why is there such a jump between these two? Christ almighty. Maybe I might have to do that. Oh, we'll have to see. We've got the vanilla, we've got modded, and we've got a few different versions. Okay. We got one of the modern versions. We'll have to try. We'll try it. Maybe it sounds bad by numbers, but maybe adept expert won't be that terrible. We'll try video because I don't want to do it on adept because I do want to give myself a bit of a challenge. If there's no chance of dying, then there's no real fun in it. And the Shivering Isles isn't a very big area and doesn't have that many quests, so we've got to sort of milk as much as we can out of it. The modded version, what has it got? 1.25, and essentially the same way backwards. So you get about 25% extra damage, and you take 25. You give 25% less, or 15% less. Okay. Modded, that's a bit more extreme. Is more like... So that's 50% more, and you essentially deal 50% less. Double. Okay. Interesting. Go with the mod manager. Okay. Okay. Doesn't disable achievements. Wow. There you go. Alright, anyway. So that's that. And I've got a few other ideas they might add, you know, things like you can do random movements or go to random locations. That could always be a choice. That maybe every so often you have to do sort of a random, abandon whatever quest you're doing and beeline it for something else. That's always a choice. Yes. Yeah. I think we're pretty good for now. Yeah. I don't know. If there was some way to... Is there a way to... remastered... console? Still... work? Okay. Can I open console? Okay, there is a console. Okay, so there is a console, so maybe we could figure out some, like... chanting... console? We'll have a look at the command list, but yeah, I think maybe the console could be a good way to get around not having the mods. First chat mod. No. Let's see. Anything console cancelled to fail, of course, all of your save files. Okay. That's fine. I don't really care about... I don't care about achievements. Achievements? Chat. I can figure out how to do them. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. We'll have a look. Anyway, I think we'll leave that there for now. Because it'd be interesting if we could, like, get the cursed items that are temporary cursed and sort of make a temporary version cursed. A temporary cursed version of an item. That would be pretty cool. So the higher difficulty will be thing, no fast travel, random of good conversation. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. I am pretty happy with this overall thing. I am. I'm happy with that. Yeah. And if you think of anything else, anyone, of course, do tell. You know, the Discord is always open, and we're always interested in any edits you all may wish to make. But yeah, I think I'm in. Like my mod pals are. And if I do get over 100 deaths, you can keep your mod. No. I am tempted to take you up on your bet, though, J Hank. That would be very funny. Get a React bot as a slideshow. have like a little, have like a. I'll take your mod powers if I don't die 100 times. I'll take them, and I'll make you a normal member of society again, J. Hank. I am tempted, but if I honestly, if I go with the React Mode as a side show. Showrunner's mod champion. That would be interesting. Reverse. Is that written in the Google Doc? It is written in the Google Doc, and I'm tempted to throw the Google Doc into the Discord if you all want to either look at it or play around with it. Controls for a certain time. That'll be my Google Docky. That'll be this is how I in fact, this is all a very clever way for me to expose J. Hank for the terrible cult leader that he is. He runs a PS2 cult, and he is a dangerous individual. But unlike most cult leaders, where they always end up making polygamy legal, he has made anyone else playing the PS2 outside of his presence illegal. And it's just really annoying because he's like the worst version of a backseat gamer when it comes to PS2 games. Getting exposed. It's your Google Doc, Jank. Gonna take you down, you PS2 cult leader. You backseating PS2 cult leader. Stealing everyone's PS2s. Being in a polygamous relationship with several PS2s. It's terrible. I think he even secretly plays PS1 sometimes. Lies, discrimination. The truth will come out, J. Hank. The truth will come out. The truth always prevails. My brain is making one of you put full stops on all of these for some reason. Please. I need full stops. He's whatever to not follow you with the ukulele. Just have like a ukulele with like a PS2 and a PS2 shaped ukulele. Your walls are covered in ukuleles. The PS2s, I mean, sorry, not ukuleles. That would be very terrifying, actually. No fast travel. What would you think would count as a drug? And I end up with, I'm vegan, out. Oh my god. It's amazing how apologies can never be done right. Like in real life, an apology is quite easy to do. But, like, easy to do, hard to get people to accept, but still easy to do. I feel like I've not had many people who have apologized to my face and haven't been fairly good at it, you know, it's been fairly honest. But I suppose that's just what happens, I suppose. I'd have to use this mod, though. By this round. Speaking of, I feel like madness is just how I talk. I am jumping all over the place most of the time when I'm talking. If it doesn't come up front, you'll regret it from yourself. It's worthless. It's fair, and also, there's the whole phrase of, you can offer as many apologies as you want. Doesn't mean anyone has to accept them. You know, forgiveness is not an entitlement of the... is not the entitlement of the apologizer. It's of the person who is being apologized to, the apologizee. Unfortunately, people seem to forget. They think it's like a magic word, like when you're a kid, where you go, thank you and please, and by doing that, you're suddenly doing everything correctly, and you're a respectful person by saying thank you and please. I feel like people forget that just because you said, please forgive me, I am sorry, I regret what I did, that people don't have to forgive you. Granted, some people take an entitled scene of actually forgiving someone. Like, there are people who are talking about people who, as if they personally harmed them, and they need the forgiveness of this person. Like, this YouTuber was an asshole, and the person they should be apologizing to is hardly their audience, but ultimately not really their audience. It's whoever they harmed in their actions. If they harmed their audience, sure. Like, maybe they did like a pump and dump scheme or something like that, or a pyramid scheme, or a Ponzi scheme. I don't know. Maybe they conned the audience. Fair. Got it. Fine. But if they actually did like a crime, or groomed a minor, or something like that, I feel like it's that, the one, they have to go to jail, and two, they have to probably, apologize to that person. But in even those situations, I feel like people in the general internet act like it's them who have been personally offended, and it's their apology, that it's their forgiveness that truly matters in the situation. It's always that person like, well, I don't think, and like, well, it doesn't matter what you think. If everyone in the situation has forgiven each other, then you to get it. Yeah, they regret their actions, but I bet they only regret getting caught or exposed. It's true. It often is the case. But okay, so I think we'll stop it there for now, and I'll post that to Discord. Let's jump to the chatting stream, nighttime chat, just to get away from this. I can spend some time. But yes, I think we'll stop making the rules for now. I think they're pretty good rules. I will share them. And I'll throw that on the Discord, I think, in the general chat. Check, Jheng, check if you can actually access this file. By the way. These are the rules I have made for the Oblivion run. Changes. Changes or additions or addition. Yeah, I want to go with revisions. Need to ask for access. Okay. Really? That's annoying. I wonder why. Delete that message for now. Share private to general access, anyone with the link. There you go. Let's try this again. I'll send the link again. How about that? Give it a go, Jheng. That should work. To the theme. But if you think Honey. Alright. I'll leave that there for now. Probably won't be a while until anyone sees it. A-okay? No, wonderful. So, yes. Generally, we'll leave it at that. I think we have quite a good... I think the penalty roulette's quite good, I think. We'll have to be more specific. Like, how much time we should be saying for, like, the only certain item or the only certain spell class for a certain time. The singing everything I say for a certain time, fighting the next thing. Some of them have timing in them. Do people suggest the doc or the server? Ken, you edit the doc? I don't know if you should know if you can edit the doc, so to check that, if you can. Put PS2 somewhere in the document, I'll keep my eye on it. Can you edit the doc? I don't know if I actually gave editing power to anyone. Was this the, Oh, yeah, it's editing document directly. I think you can edit the document. It would probably be smarter to say viewing, or maybe suggestion. You know what? I think... Can I force people to suggest? Maybe? If I could force people to suggest, that would be nice. I'll say you can make... Correctly... I'll just say you can make the servers just over generally. I can't. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'll just say, do it, you know, general suggestions to me, you know? Alright. Nice. Oh, I think this was a very productive stream, to be honest. Now the question is, am I going to... yes, I don't... Hopefully, I won't... I'll have the event I need to do tomorrow. And then I can do that event, and then on Monday, when I have the compensatory day off, I'll be able to do it then. However, we will have to see how this goes. Because if it ends up being delayed again, the stream may end up being tomorrow morning. And that'll be a whole thing. So I'll try and get it actually downloaded tonight. Try and actually get the damn thing downloaded tonight, if I can. I am tempted to save myself a bit of money. So I actually haven't bought the game yet. I'm tempted to save myself some money, because it's actually on Game Pass. If I just buy a month of Game Pass, I'll be able to play the game. Without having to spend the 70, you know, the full price of the game. Which could be handy, if I want to. It would be handy to use Game Pass to get away with that sort of thing. So I might do that. And you can transfer the files between the two. That will make my life a bit... If the event that that has been postponed to tomorrow gets postponed again, because there still is a chance it'll be raining tomorrow. So tomorrow, probably going to be sunny, so I probably won't do the stream tomorrow morning at least. But I'll more likely do the stream on Monday, maybe? So either tomorrow, for you, I guess it would be the same. It would be tomorrow night. It'll be tomorrow night. No, It'll be tomorrow. Wait. It's the night before for you, right, isn't it? Point is, either it'll be 24 hours from now, around about 24 hours from now, or it'll be around about 36 hours. So the night of Sunday night. Either be Sunday morning tomorrow, or Sunday night tomorrow. There's 3 times it could be. Sunday morning, Sunday night, or Monday morning. That'll be the 3 times. It really depends how it goes, or what I'm planning to do. If it gets cancelled again tomorrow, probably won't. Probably won't, considering how much it's raining today. I really hope it's not raining tomorrow. But, still got like a 40% chance, but probably not. But, again, if I do the event tomorrow, I'll probably be pretty tired, so I might not do it tomorrow night. It's 2 points, mainly. Either a gorilla stream tomorrow morning, or tomorrow night, or a proper stream, honest to God, on the Monday. That's generally what I'm thinking. And I'll have to cut right off the Monday, because I am planning to drink with this stream. And I might do that Game Pass version. I might need to install Game Pass, because it might be cheaper to do Game Pass for now. I might do Game Pass for now and then just cancel it before the next month comes around, because I think because really it's just it'll just give me a way to sort of oh, there's a spider. Hello, spider. How are you? Getting away from the rain, are we, spider? Yeah? The only thing you're gonna find up there is the air conditioner. I don't know if you really need the air conditioner right now, spider. Yeah? Okay. Fair enough. He's a good lad. It's the first spider that's turned up. I know there's been a few smaller spiders that have turned up in this apartment, usually near the window. The first time that's come this far in. Look at him go. Bravely going where no spider has gone before. Damn, you know, sometimes I wish... You think you could beat within 1 a month in your stream ratio? But that's the thing, I'm only doing the Shivering Isles DLC. I'm only doing the expansion, that is the Shivering Isles. And yes, it's a relatively large expansion, but it's not the size of the game. That's the thing. It's a challenge run based in only the DLC. The idea of the run is, part of the challenge is going to be that I am going to go straight into the DLC. Level 1. We are going to ignore, we're not going to touch a single thing. We're going to drop all of our equipment before we enter. We're going to get out of the tutorial and we're going to go straight to the Shivering Isles gate. And immediately start the deal. And that's the only thing we're doing. We are just doing the Shivering Isles DLC at level 1. And doing everything that we can get is within that DLC. Any item we use is in that DLC. Any weapon we use has to be gotten from that DLC. So, it's going to be a pretty limited playthrough anyway. So I think a month would probably be okay. And anyway, it doesn't really matter. Because what I'm doing is, it's just to save some money. I'm just doing it to save a bit of money. So that if maybe their sale comes along in the next month, I doubt it will, but it could be. Or if I just, you know, I get paid on Tuesday, so maybe I'll just buy the Steam version on Tuesday when I've actually got some money in my Japanese account. The problem is, I can't actually use my Australian money, which I have enough of, to buy games on Steam right now, because it requires me to say my Steam account is in Japan and get the sort of essentially the discounts of buying games in Japan, because it's a discounted rate compared to Australia. I had to attach a Japanese card to the account, and that means I have to use my Japanese money to buy anything. My Japanese money is quite low right now, therefore I can't actually buy anything in Japan using my Japanese card right now. That's over $100. No, it's not over $100, but you know, I've got other things I need to buy before thing. But I get paid on Tuesday, and then I'll have the money to buy the game. So really, it'd be only for that delay, that sort of like first few weeks, because you can move the save files over to the Steam version, I believe. So I'm not too concerned about losing progress, if that's necessary. But yes. It's just it'll be cheaper because it'll be, you know, 900 yen instead of 8,000 yen. You know, $10 to $80 is a significant portion of saving. And if I can play through the whole thing in a month, and I don't have to buy the Steam version, then I can wait until the Steam version's on sale to play it again. I think it's a pretty good idea, don't you? Your money is worthless here, Kangaroo Man, I know, right? Well, technically, I could get some money exchanged from my Australian account and bring it over here, but I have to do that in lots of $100, and I don't really want to do that. I'd rather just wait. So yes, that's what I'll do. I mean, Game Pass will give me access to a few other games I might have fun playing, you know? Might be a few games I, you know, want to give a go. Otherwise, so might be give me a chance to do that. Point is, that's the plan. That is the plan. And I believe you can still install mods on the Game Pass version if you can get it to work. It should work for the Game Pass version. So you might still be able to mod it. So you might be good. If I need to install mods, like the difficulty is just broken and there's no point in using it, then yeah, we'll give it a go, shall we? This is mod collection. 84, Jesus. Maybe I should just install this person's mod pack. Jesus. We'll have a look at some mods and see which ones I think might be good to use. If there seems to be some problems with Oblivion, maybe make it a bit more hot. Yeah, I don't even want to make it too easy, because I kind of want to make it, I still want it to be a bit of a challenge, and like the jankiness, the silliness, the sort of stupidness I remember Oblivion having was part of the challenge, I think. You know, having to backpedal and do silly things to sort of win. I'm already gonna be randomizing stuff, so we'll have to see. We will have to see. Won't we? We will have to see. Yes, with our eyes. As we tend to. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I do an awful lot of seeing with these two little peepers. I know I'm always wearing sunglasses, so you can't tell if I'm actually not sleeping or not, but I swear. If you see me wear my sunglasses, it's like Schrodinger's observation. You don't know if I'm watching you. Or I'm just hiding the fact that I'm asleep. But you can't stop me. Anyway, I'll have a gander at what mods people suggest. Though I do want to try it. It probably will try the first stream without any mods, and we'll see how it runs. See how we feel about doing all of it unmodded. But yeah. Yeah. So, have you ever played saying Civ 6? Not really, to be honest. I'm not too. It's too much of a board game. I hate to say that. I loved board games when I was younger, but ironically, the better I've gotten, the more I played them, the more I lost the patience for them, you see. Board games. Like, I'm good with a bit of a card game or two, or a simple game to play while chatting with people. But these sort of big, complicated games, I have this bad habit of seeing the end of the game before it's like I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna lose really badly. I can already tell from like the first dozen hands. And then I get really sort of bored and what is the word for it? Uninvested. So I feel like I have the same problem with a lot of video game, sort of board game things like Civ and the like. I have played them with my nephew before. And one, they take a long time. And I don't think we've ever finished a game. Except when we're doing like a silly version where we're all trying to blow each other up or something like that. I've not really considered playing them by myself, though, if that's what you're saying. Ugh. Yes. We will have to see. Oh, dear. But I don't know. I'll be curious to see what the game actually looks like. That's what I'm most curious about, to see what the game actually looks like. We will or we will not. Play Civ? Probably not. I'm kind of curious to see what everything looks like in this game, like the sort of updated textures. It'd be a bit of a shame we're kind of limiting ourselves to the Isles, because there's some pretty cool armor and weapons that I'd be curious to see what actually... I mean, see, no, you won't. I will be crawling through the gaps in your walls tonight to steal your eyes. That is what Eldritch Eric will be doing. He was kind enough to inform me that I will be wanted in several countries after this, and that I should probably lay low for a while. So you will not see. Because Eldritch Eric needs eyes. Even though he's already got a lot of eyes. I don't know why he needs more. Seems kind of rude. He's like a baron of people's eyeballs. He's a baron of 20... He's the 2020 baron. He's the, what is it? Hypo... Optica or whatever it is. He's the Count of Corneas. Ugh. Excuse me. But anyway, I think I'll stop there before I get too sleepy. For the third world security system. Getting shot point blank in the face. Hey, I'm sure it'll be good for him. I'm sure it'll be good for him. Probably should get shot in the face a few more times. It'll make him more reasonable. It'll make him more reasonable. Frankly. I frankly think he's being a bit big for his breeches, mate. Tad bit big for his breeches. It's a bit big for his breeches. Frankly. Anyway, I think we'll finish there. I think we will finish there. It's only a short stream today, but hopefully the next stream will go for a long time. I'm planning to try and like make the Oblivion streams quite long if I can. Yeah? I'm sort of hoping now it's been 2 weeks, there may have been a few updates to the Oblivion Remaster 2, it'll make it run better or something like that, or some things will be fixed. It was an improv stream. It was an improv stream, yeah, you know, it was a bit more of a, oh, I've got time this morning, let's pop on for a stream and sort of make this... Ironically, it was an improv stream, a guerrilla stream as the kids say, where I ended up essentially making myself an improv project. The Oblivion streams are going to be ultimately that. I'm gonna have to really pull out my old acting chops. You know, they're probably a bit rotten now. Get it? Chops? Yep. Pork chop? A bit rotten, probably, you know, tell very bland jokes now, my acting chops. Probably are incapable of saying a sentence in any sort of soliloquy. That'll be terrible. But we'll have to figure that out. Whatever it happens to be, or whatever it goes on to be, we'll figure that out. But I am very curious to see how it'll go. This is a bit more high energy than I was expecting. If I was actually properly high energy, I'd have like a mod or something like that. But, you know, I don't have that kind of time. Got some kind of time. Anyway, we stop there. Let's finish up. But thank you all for coming to this rather sudden stream. And if you do have any ideas for a sort of madness-themed run, the Dual Doc is on the Discord. And give me have a read of what's already there. Give me a message if you want to add or take away anything or change something. Even if you have a suggestion for the timing. And remember, suggest torture methods. We're going to make everyone Mr. Ortega's icon. You'll never get him. You'll never say, I'll never give up my friend, Mr. Ortega. My brother in arms. My soul. My friend. I'll never give him up. You'll never stop me. You'll never stop me. You'll never get me again. Never. And as always, good night. Sweet dreams. And don't mind the incessant screams of the visions of your mind. That's sort of what happens when you go to the Daedric Prince of Madness realm. I don't know what you were expecting. You know, like a good night's sleep. But unfortunately, insomnia is not a case of madness. It will cause madness. But it's not going to be fixed by being more mad. Anyway. I'm sheogorath, Daedric Prince of Madness. I'll see you next time.